What's going on, everybody? This is Shaggy Bets here with betting news. And with football starting on Saturday with some college action, it's time to break down another college football conference. This time, we will be breaking down the Big Ten Conference. This is our Big Ten Conference preview for the 2024-2025 football season. And we are very excited to get into this conference as conference realignment has shaken everything up. And the Big Ten has added 4 new teams from the Pac-12 into their conference. Those 4 teams are the Oregon Ducks, the UCLA Bruins, the USC Trojans, and the Washington Huskies. The Big Ten Conference now stretches all the way from East Rutherford, New Jersey, to Los Angeles, California, and up to Seattle, Washington, basically taking over the entire country. With 16 teams now in the Big Ten, it will be a conference for the ages. Lots of teams have their sights set on a Big Ten championship, and we do have 6 ranked teams in the top 25 to start this season. We have the Ohio State Buckeyes ranked at number 2, the Oregon Ducks behind them at number 3, Penn State at number 8, and Michigan at number 9, breaking 4 teams into that top 10 overall in the country. The next 2 up are the USC Trojans at number 23, and rounding us out are the Iowa Hawkeyes at number 25. Now, with all these conferences adding new teams, scheduling will be key. So let's take a look at some of these top teams in the conference and see if their schedules will work in their favor. But first off, let's start by looking at the overall odds to win this Big Ten Conference. Now, as you can see here, the Ohio State Buckeyes are the clear favorite at plus 135, with the Oregon Ducks closely behind them at plus 190. Next up, you've got Penn State at plus 500 and Michigan at plus 800. Next up, USC at 18-1 and Iowa at 20-1. Going down the list, you've got Nebraska at 40-1, Washington and Wisconsin both listed at plus 6,600, and then the other teams below them that probably do not have a shot at taking this conference. So let's take a look at some of these schedules, starting with the Michigan Wolverines. Now, the Michigan Wolverines have a lot of problems to deal with. Now, they won the championship, so we are most likely going to see a bit of a championship hangover, but I think we certainly see it with the loss of head coach Jim Harbaugh to the NFL, J.J. McCarthy to the NFL, and 13 other starters as well. That is a lot of production to try and figure out who is going to step up in that position for the Michigan Wolverines. And their non-conference schedule certainly does not help them. In the second week of the season, the Michigan Wolverines take on the Texas Longhorns. Yes, this game is at the Big House, but I think Michigan is due for a rough one. I think Texas is a much stronger team, so I do like the Texas Longhorns to win that game, giving Michigan an early loss on their schedule. Now, the Wolverines do host USC and Oregon, but they have to travel and play at Ohio State and at Washington. I think the Wolverines take a step back this year. I do not think they are a top 10 team in the country. And personally, I do not really see them being ranked at the end of the season. That might be a bold take. You might be able to crucify me later for it, but that is my prediction on the Michigan Wolverines. They will not do well in this Big Ten Conference. But what about the Buckeyes? The Ohio State Buckeyes are the number 2 team in the country. They are the favorite to win this conference. However, they do have a bit of a tougher schedule compared to some of their other conference opponents. For example, Ohio State has to play on the road against Oregon. They have to play on the road against Penn State. They host Iowa, they host Nebraska, and they host Michigan. But that is a bit of a tougher Big Ten schedule, as some of those teams are going to be in the top half of this conference. My main question for the Buckeyes is going to be at quarterback with Will Howard. Will Howard essentially got moved out of a job at Kansas State. Avery Johnson took over the starting QB position for the Wildcats, forcing Will Howard to go into the transfer portal, ending up at Ohio State. He's got a good supporting staff with the running back Trayvon Henderson and the rest of the Ohio State defense. However, I don't think the offense is going to be quite what it used to be this year, and I do think the defense is going to be what carries the Buckeyes into the Big Ten championship. However, they are not my pick to win the Big Ten this team is. I think a newcomer will take the conference this year. My money is on the Oregon Ducks to win the Big Ten. I did a little bit of line shopping and got plus 220, but I absolutely love the Oregon Ducks schedule. They are led by Oklahoma transfer QB, Heisman frontrunner Dylan Gabriel. I think the lefty is going to fit very well into Dan Lanning's system, who has proven to be a fantastic head coach in the country. And they really won't see a solid team until they host the Buckeyes on October 12th. I think Oregon could easily start out 5-6-0 this season, and them being able to host the Buckeyes in Eugene is huge. I do see Oregon taking that game and potentially going undefeated the rest of the season. While Oregon does have to play Michigan on the road later in the season, I already talked about how I don't think that is going to be as tough a game for them as people expect. And the Ducks also get to avoid Penn State. They avoid USC and they avoid Iowa, giving them a bit of a tougher Big Ten schedule. I certainly see a one-loss Ducks team making it into the Big Ten championship. And personally, I see them being undefeated and making it all the way to the national championship. So the Oregon Ducks at plus 220 are my pick to win the Big Ten Conference. Now, I do need to touch on the Nittany Lions of Penn State because I do think they could be a sleeper. Penn State only has 2 ranked games on their schedule right now. They play USC on the road, and then they host the Ohio State Buckeyes. They avoid Michigan, and they avoid Oregon, which leads me to believe a 1 or 2 loss Penn State team could sneak their way into the college football playoff. I think Penn State is a shoo-in for that 12-team playoff personally, and I think they are going to be a top 3 team in the Big Ten this year. However, I do have the Oregon Ducks to win the Big Ten at plus 220. That is my pick to win this conference this year. I think the new face, the Ducks, are going to be quacking all over the Big Ten. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope this was useful. I hope this gets you in the mood for college football starting real soon. Check everything we have out at bettingnews.com. It is all completely free for you and everything you need in the sports betting world. Follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Your Betting News, and go ahead and follow myself as well at Shaggy_bets for my daily sports betting card. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Thanks for being here, and enjoy the football season.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Riding in the deep. Down in the deep. Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here. Rolling. What you gonna do? Rolling. What you gonna do? Down in the rolling. What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this shit. What you know about